Hi everyone, today we're going to talk to Eric, who is an on-camera meteorologist, about his job. All right, Eric, other than your college degree, was there any other education required for your job, such as recertifications or continuing education?
That's a great question. The answer, in short, is no. However, some stations prefer that you get what's called an AMS seal, which is the gold standard within our occupation, which basically says you are sort of the best of the best. You take a test and you answer like 70 or 80 questions, and if you pass it, and you send in some on-air television work, and you pass sort of like a board review, then you're certified.
And my next question for you is, when did you know that this was the career that you wanted to pursue?
Oh God, that's a good one too. So when I think it was 8 or 10, I was very young, so I barely remember this, but I was in my house and we had a thunderstorm go through my town. I remember how purple the lightning was and how heavy it rained. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I, from a very early age, I had this passion for weather, and it sort of got expanded when I was in high school. And then I knew what I wanted to do when I went to college. And well, here I am 5 years later.
That's so cool that you knew from such a young age what you wanted to do.
Yeah. And I hope a lot of people that are in high school have the same opportunity to kind of learn from a younger age what you want to do. It's okay if you don't, but if you do, it certainly helps you out when you're in college. And I find that, knowing early on can help you sort of like refine your career earlier, and you can get settled in life. It's nice. It's a good thing.
What was it like to get started in the field when you were newer, right out of college?
It was scary. And I say that because, you go from being like in a college setting, so smaller setting, then you get thrown into the real world. It's like, whoa. I was very fortunate. I had some really great mentors in my college programs. Our college was very good in terms of meteorology and the TV side. So I had mentors throughout the region. I had a great internship, and the combination of that allowed me to get a fairly decent job compared to other people who come out of school. And from there, I just kept working my way up.
Awesome. So walk us through a day in the life of your job before coronavirus messed everything up.
Yeah, that's a good question. So a day in my life would entail, TV weather is interesting because you can never fully unplug from your job like some others can. So I find myself staring at weather even when I'm off the clock. So before I get on the clock, if you want to call it that, I'll look at the weather. If there's crazy rain or if there's a lot of wind, I'll look at what's going on. I'll go into work. And the first thing you do every day is you look at a forecast. You basically say, okay, what's happening now? What's happening in the future? And depending if I'm on TV or not, I will make graphics for the forecast that night. If I am on TV, I, of course, will make the 7-day that you guys see on TV, or if it's a 10-day, get all those kinds of things done. Do some stuff on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and our website. And then go on TV and tell people the weather. If I'm not on television, I'll end up helping out the person who is on TV, usually our chief meteorologist, and see what he wants to do. Sometimes I'll help him make graphics. Sometimes I'll drive the radar for him when the weather is severe, or sometimes I'll be out doing live shots to sort of back him up, say, hey, I'm standing in 3 feet of snow. This is how cold it is, that kind of thing. So it varies largely based on the day-to-day outcome, what's happening on any particular day. But more often than not, the one stable thing in every, day that I'm at work is always making a forecast and always looking up to the sky and see what's going on.
So your job, obviously, is you have a lot to do. No day is ever the same. What's the most rewarding part?
Oh, God. And this will sound kind of weird. Learning from my mistakes, I think, is the most rewarding part. Weather is humbling because you're wrong a lot. and then there are times when you're not. But it's always good to learn from my mistakes. I like to constantly learn, which I'm sure you do and a lot of folks like to do. So weather gives you a unique opportunity to constantly make mistakes, constantly learn from your mistakes, and hopefully get better with time.
Hopefully. Is there anything that's challenging, and how do you overcome that challenge, or at least make it manageable?
That's a great question. I think the biggest challenge we face is making the complexity of weather easy for everyone else who's not a meteorologist to understand, which is a lot of people. There are a lot of people that are fascinated by the weather, but the crazy science part of it is not really well understood. So, there's a lot that goes into a forecast. It might be misleading because you look at your phone and you're like, okay, I have a 12-hour forecast on my phone. No, it's pretty straightforward. But the path it takes to get there is more difficult. So I think the biggest challenge we face is taking a really complex forecast and making it into a couple of sentences, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. So my last question for you is, do you have any advice for teens who are interested in following your career path?
Okay, yeah, these are all good questions. If I had advice, I would say our field can be very tough for some, but if you're passionate about it and you love weather, which so many folks do, don't give up. Keep going at it, and always be persistent. I'm terrible at math, and math is certainly something that really drives our field. And I will be very open about saying I failed math classes when I was in college, but it was my persistence and my dedication and my passion for meteorology that really drove me to where I am today. So I sort of bestow that advice on anyone who's interested. It's a tough field, but never give up. At the end, it's super rewarding, and it's a really fascinating field to get into. So I highly recommend it for those who are interested.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Occupation Connection. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to click the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a good comment below.